What is going on, Agent Death here, and today we're going to be talking about the top talents for each gear piece. It's very important to note that these are my personal favorites, even though I'm also going to be covering the perks or talents that are dominating the meta right now. If I happen to miss one that you really like, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what it does and what gear piece you usually get it on. Now, without further ado, let's get right on to it. Starting off with our vest. Here we have Unstoppable Force. Killing an enemy grants 2% weapon damage for every 10,000 max armor. Definitely a must-have. Then we have Vital. Health increase by 20%. A very nice perk. I highly advise if you're a tank, you get this. Then we have Mad Bomber. Grenade radius is increased by 150% and grenades that kill an enemy are refunded. This works very well with the Demolitionist class. Now we have Berserk. 10% weapon damage for every 10% of max armor depleted. Currently, this is one of the top perks for PvP and I highly advise you go out of your way to check it out. Here we have Restorative. 10% health on kill, a very basic but very fundamental perk. And our last but very useful perk is Unbreakable. 25% of max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. Armor kits used within the next 5 seconds are not consumed. This is very nice for survivability and it can always be used for any type of class if you're looking to go out there and survive a little longer. Now we have our backpacks. Here we have On the Ropes. Weapon damage is increased by 25% while all skills are on cooldown or reach 0 charges. I really like this ability because it can provide a buff for any class and it incentivizes players to use their skills. Then we have Safeguard. Killing an enemy grants 150% bonus to repairing and healing effects for 20 seconds. This is probably one of the best in-slot talents right now and I highly advise you guys go out there and check it out. After that we have Tech Support. Kills by active skills grant 25% skill damage for 10 seconds and this works very nice with the turrets. I believe it's incredibly useful because it provides sustained DPS over a certain amount of time, especially if you're a solo player. And then our last ability is Efficient. Using an armor kit has 50% chance to not consume the armor kit and this applies all the time, so I find this very useful, as I said before, for survivability. And now let's head over to our mask. It's important to note that these don't really have a lot of talents because they usually have high attributes. Here we have Restorative, 10% health on kill, very basic. Hard hitting, 15% damage to elite, also very basic but a very important talent, especially if we're going to head over to higher content or the raid. Then we have something that's kind of interesting and some of you might not have seen it. Dialed in. While aiming, weapon stability is increased by 25% of your weapon accuracy. I find this talent very nice and useful if you happen to not find anything else that you want to put in that slot. Spotter. 10% weapon damage to pulsed enemies. This is very nice in PvP because the pulse is usually very nice to get people out of cover or just overall tell you where they're hiding. And the last talent is kind of weird but I like it. I haven't used it personally but I've seen people use it even on me. Trauma. Semi-auto headshots have a 15% chance to blind. It requires a marksman rifle or a rifle and overall it's a pretty nice ability. Then let's head over to our knee pads. Here we have Braced. While in cover, weapon handling is increased by 25%. I love this ability, especially with my LMGs. Then we have Calculated. Kills from cover reduce skill cooldown by 20%. This is without a doubt the best talent for skill users. You have to have it, there's no questions about it, and all of you that haven't tried it, definitely go out of your way and check it out. Then we have Restorative. 10% health on kill, pretty much the basic. Patience. After being in cover for 3 seconds, armor repairs by 5% every 1 second. This is the MVP right now. I love this ability and I highly advise you guys go and try it for yourself. And the last one is Entrench. Headshots from cover repair 5% of your armor while using a rifle or marksman weapon. I think this is very useful because usually rifle and marksman weapon users are behind cover. Now let's check out our gloves. Here we have Obliterate. Depleting an enemy's armor grants 25% critical hit damage for 5 seconds. Overall, a very nice boost to your damage, especially if you spec into critical chance. Then we have Clutch, my favorite ability for PvP right now. Critical hits restore 15% health and repair 2% armor. I find this to be incredibly useful. Shout out to Wiz for putting it on the spot, at least for me. I really like this ability. I highly advise you go out and check it out. Then we have critical, 8% critical hit damage, a very weak version of the past two but still very nice. Then we have opportunistic. Destroying an enemy's weak point or breaking an enemy's armor grants 10% damage from all sources to the enemy for 20 seconds. A very nice way to give not only yourself but your team a source of extra damage per se. Then we have compensated. Weapon damage is increased when you have low critical chance. Hey, not all builds are based off critical, so this might be very nice, especially if someone goes out there and does the damage to elite build. Then we have to order. Grenades can now be cooked by holding the fire button, making them explode earlier. A very nice ability not only for PvP but also for PvE. And our last, our holsters. Here we have filler up. Reloading from empty reloads all weapons. I'm using this right now with my LMG and I'm loving it. Here we have surgical, 8% critical hit chance, something very basic, but it might help get you to that critical chance cap. Then we have restorative, 10% health on kill as we always do, and our last ability is devastating, 5% weapon damage. And that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to cover anything else in particular. And as I told you, let me know if I missed a talent that you personally like. I'll see you guys next time, and your boy Death Gun out.